Oh no, you started your car up in the morning and what do you see, folks? The dreaded auxiliary battery malfunction indicator on your dashboard. What do you do about it?
Hey everybody, Jeff here, and welcome back to the CarBuyingTips.com YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with us, CarBuyingTips.com has been protecting you, the car buying public, since 1999. Our team of consumer advocates has been protecting you with free advice on buying new cars, used cars, leasing. We know every scam there is out there. We have all sorts of scams to avoid from the car dealers. And we also do product reviews, and on occasion we do car repair videos here as well. And today we're going to show you how to repair the auxiliary battery in your car. Now, just because this is a Mercedes doesn't mean that you don't have one in your car. There's other cars that have auxiliary batteries as well. So what we're going to show you here today probably applies to your car as well. So let's get right into it.
So you're probably wondering, what is an auxiliary battery? What does it do and why do I need it? And what would happen if I don't replace this battery? Is it the end of the world if I don't put this new auxiliary battery here in this Mercedes? Well, the auxiliary battery controls your eco function and your hold function for the brake. See, it says hold at the bottom. Now the eco function is what turns off the gas motor while you're sitting at a traffic light. And as soon as you let your foot off the brake, the gas motor starts again. It's almost like a hybrid car, but it just saves money on a gas engine. So we've come to a stop and you can see the motor cuts off a little bit. As soon as you let off of the brake, you'll hear it starts back up again. So that's how the ECO mode works. Now you can see it just switched back to yellow because it needs some more conditions to be met before it wants to go back into the green mode again.
Okay, so even within the Mercedes family here, this is the E350. This is a 2014 E350, otherwise known as a W212 engine. So with Mercedes, you're going to find that your auxiliary battery will be in one of three different places. In this car, we know it's in the trunk near the spare. There's two other places where you commonly see it in Mercedes vehicles. The problem with trying to find out where your auxiliary battery is there's so much confusion among the car owners because some models might have it here, another model might have it there. I've seen two of the same model car that have it in two different places. So, and they're not always this size either too. So bottom line is you have to find out from your service advisor or go on the forums for your car and find out from other people who have replaced it where exactly it is for your car. Okay, so your auxiliary battery for your Mercedes is located on the right side here inside your trunk. So we're going to have to remove everything out of here because we need to lift up this big panel that's on the floor here of the trunk. Okay, so now with the trunk open, you simply pull up on the handle here for the cover. Okay, so here's your auxiliary battery right here. It's just to the right of the spare tire here. Now, if you're wondering, well, how do I find the part number of my battery here? Well, if you can see your battery in the trunk, this is your part number right here. So in this particular car, it's A000-982-9308. And 9 times out of 10, you can probably skip the A and just type all of these digits here. Remove the spaces, so just type it in as 000-982-9308. Type it in like that online on Google, and it will take you to all the various sites. We'll put a link to this down in Amazon below for you, so you can go and check it out there as well. Many of your local auto parts stores are not likely to have this battery in stock just because it's such a rare type of battery that you're better off just ordering it online. Or you can go to the Mercedes dealer and pay buku dollars for it. Okay, so on some of the other Mercedes like the M and I believe some of the G classes, you're likely to find your auxiliary battery inside this compartment here, which is on the left side of the driver's side here. And you get a tool and you can pop off this lid right in here, and the battery is just sitting back and behind there in this empty space, and it's about the size of your fist. So all you have to do is disconnect the two wires and put the new battery on, and then put the lid back on, and you're done. Okay, the third common location for your auxiliary battery in some of your Mercedes models, even older E-classes I've heard, are back up in here. You have to undo some of this panel area here, peel back the carpet, and it's back up in there. only thing we have to take off here is this mounting plate here that's covering it. See, this is a securing plate here. So there is a bolt and a nut here to get the battery out. So let's undo these terminals for now, and we'll just take off the gas release valve there, hose. Okay, so we'll start by removing the protective cap there off the positive terminal here. All three of these fasteners here, this one, and this one, require a 10mm socket. Hopefully you can see it says it right there on the side of the socket there, 10. Okay, so the first thing we do is we'll loosen the positive side. Okay, so we have the positive lead there is off of the terminal now. And then we'll do the ground. He was actually fairly loose. Okay, then I'll stick the positive terminal here, just in a little plastic bag, just to keep it from touching anything or shorting into anything. Okay, let's loosen the bracket nut next. We're showing you both ways that people do it. Some people want to use gloves, some don't. And the bracket just tilts up there, and out comes your battery. See, it was that simple pulling out the old battery here. So as you can see, this Mercedes battery here is a VRLA type here, and that stands for valve regulated lead acid. And so that's why we have that valve on the side there to catch any of the off-gassing. Now the newer battery, which is an AGM type, that stands for absorbed glass mat. And so that's a kind of a different type of VRLA where the electrolyte is actually absorbed into the separators. Okay, so that type of battery doesn't necessarily need to be vented. Okay, so here's your two batteries side by side here. Here's the original Mercedes battery that we pulled out of this car. So this battery is actually coming up on 7 years of use, so it lasted a pretty good long time. This is a 2014 model, but the car actually went into service in July of 2013. So we're almost coming up on 7 years that it did pretty good. And this battery here is the new one here, and so they're almost identical here, except the original battery here is a lead acid, and so it requires that VRLA port hose, as you saw. We connected it here onto the side. This one here is a dry battery here, so this doesn't have that. Okay, so now that we have the old auxiliary battery pulled out of this Mercedes here, we're going to measure the voltage on it. Here we are using our Klein Tools digital multimeter, and if you don't have one of these in your car, you should really have one. We highly recommend that every car have one, especially if you're giving one to one of your college kids that's going off. And the reason why you want to have this is anytime there's ever an issue with the battery, this takes all of the questions out of the equation here. So you just turn it on. I've got it on voltage and it defaults to AC, but I'm going to put it on DC volts. And then you just simply measure. You go positive to positive, ground to ground, and it's showing here 10.95 volts. Now that to me seems a little bit low, because if this was charging and holding the charge, it should be at least 12 volts. And especially where we just had the engine on a little while ago, you would think it could even be higher. A lot of times your charging systems will put out 13.6 volts going to your terminals here. So this thing has really dropped down a little bit. We don't know if that's enough to affect the operation of the battery. The only way to tell for sure is to bring this into like AutoZone or one of your favorite auto parts stores, and they can hook it up to their little battery computers that they have, and it does a little test on it, and it tells you if the battery needs to be replaced. But come on, this is a 7-year-old battery, and the car system there, the computer was telling us that there's a malfunction with the battery. So we already know it's time. It's not like you have to perform a whole bunch of tests. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it should be pretty obvious to anybody that the battery needed to be replaced. Okay, but we'll put a link down in the description for you below for Amazon to get a digital multimeter for your car. Highly suggest you get one. Nobody should be without one. Okay, so we're going to take the new battery here and insert it into its resting place there. We're going to close down the lid and make sure that it closes down right over where that bolt is. And we're going to take the nut and screw it back on and tighten it down. Okay. Now you can also use a torque wrench, and usually with these kinds of nuts and connectors and everything, they typically fasten them down with 6 Newton meters of torque. Okay, now we're going to take the ground lead and we're going to get that right here onto the terminal and screw it into place. All right, that didn't work, so apparently the threading is different on this, on the new battery. So the battery kit comes with a couple of little adapter nuts that you can use, so we have to take this adapter nut here and slip it underneath, and then it will screw into this. See, it just slides right in there, underneath like that. Make sure the holes are all lined up here, and then this should screw right into it. Okay. Now that the ground is tightened down, now that the ground cable is attached to the ground terminal, we can remove this protective plastic piece here over the positive side. Like this. Okay, don't forget now, we also have to put this nut in on this side, under the positive terminal there. Slides right underneath there, make sure the holes line up. Pull the protective bag off of the positive terminal there. And go ahead and start screwing it down. And don't forget it, you can also use a torque wrench and tighten it down to 6 newtons. There you go. Nice and tightened down, really good. Then we'll go ahead and put the plastic piece back over here. Remember, this indent right here goes right over the bolt. So it's made to sort of clip on right on top of the bolt there. Okay, now experts are actually kind of divided about whether or not you need to have a vent on these sealed AGM batteries. But the fact of the matter is there's a mat inside the battery that absorbs the hydrogen gas before it has a chance to escape. So under normal operation, there is no seepage of any gases out of this battery. So only in the rare case where there might be huge amounts of buildup, then a little safety valve might open up, but that's extremely rare. And this whole area here is very well ventilated anyway, so that would not be a problem for you under normal operation. So if this is a problem for you and you don't feel easy about this, then go ahead and make sure you replace the VRLA battery with another VRLA battery, and make sure that your connector here will plug into the port on your battery. Sometimes they don't, which is another problem too. Okay, let's see if our fix worked. We'll start up the engine. We'll see if it still gives us the message. Normally it would replace that tire pressures will be displayed after driving a few minutes message. So if this message stays on here, then we know the fix was okay and that nothing happened, nothing went wrong. Okay, so far we're looking good. It looks like there's no problems here. Well, so far it looks like our fix is successful here because we don't see any warning anymore. And you don't have to worry about resetting the engine codes or anything because there are none. This will disappear on its own once you get the new battery installed there. And so the fact that we are seeing that message there that it says the tire pressures will be displayed after driving, that means we're okay, because before that alert message we got about the auxiliary battery malfunction, that message would replace this message because it was more urgent. So we don't see that message anymore. Everything is fine. This is a good time before you put everything back here now to check the whole area here for little parts and pieces and pencils and other junk that doesn't belong in there. Well, we hope you're finding this video on how to change out your auxiliary battery for your car useful, and if you are, hey, give us a thumbs up down below, would you? Just click on that little thumbs up icon down there. And now that you know who we are and you don't want to miss any more of our videos and you want to stay up to date on the latest, make sure you click on that subscribe button down below there. And after you do that, click the little gray bell icon next to it. That way you will be alerted every time we upload a video, because YouTube will not alert you when we upload a video unless you click on that gray bell. We'll be uploading videos and you'll miss them. So anyway, thank you so much, folks, for tuning in, and I hope this helps your problem. And don't forget, any questions you have, ask them down in the comments below and we'll answer them for you. Well, that's it for this week, folks, and we'll see you on the next one.